That was a gun.
I'm not voting.
If we want to build our nation.
The problem with the Somalians.
Just want to experience something else than a black man.
Move on, move
Can't be like a horse with blinkers.
Honestly say, I was about to have
corrupt
sex and then I pulled
crap,
up.
but it's nice.
My dream is to free the minds of the oppressed minds. Not necessarily black or white, but actually the people who are being oppressed into thinking that they can't achieve anything without some other people's help of some sort. Yes, so my dream is to make people believe in themselves, you know, and it starts with empowering them in knowledge through music.
D.A.T, MVC,
Since the late 70s, there hasn't been good music, you know, like inspiring music, like music that really teaches you something that you can actually use in your life to succeed on things or to prosper. Music that would really make you believe in yourself, like, you know, like believe in achieving things, you know. Music that makes you respect people around you, you know. Music that makes you a person for everyone. Nowadays, music is sex, guns, gangsters, murder, jail, drugs, alcohol, and that's the music that's all over TV, you know, music all over radio. Makes you wonder what kind of people they want us to be. Which car are we taking?
I'm gonna get some air conditioning.
Yeah. We're not happy to be who we are. We want to be something else. We want to be American. We want to stand right. Yeah. We want to be American, and then on your left. We want to be American, we want to be British, we want to be all of these things. And it's not wrong, you know, to get inspiration from other people, you know, from other countries. But, you know, you don't just take everything that those people, you know, do. No one is perfect. Surely they have some negative things about them as much as we do. So, meaning you'll only have to take the positive things from other people, not everything they do. I try to remind my people where we come from, that it was not always like this. We didn't used to be like this. Every mother was your mother. Every mother who's your mother's age is your mother. And nowadays you can tell a woman of your mom's age that you can't tell me nothing because you're not my mother, you know. And back in the okay, we're coming right here. You just have to reverse, park somewhere near the Beetle. So these days things are bad, you know. Kids smoke in front of the adults, exposed to sex, alcohol, and there's nothing heroic about that. My brother's Tina, Sham, my brother. Now we came to visit one of my inspirations. When I started in this music, I was introduced to the mic by a Rasta guy known as Slammer, and he introduced me to a whole range of Rastas around Guguletu. And now I'm coming to visit one of them. These are the guys who made me believe it's possible. And he's still doing his own thing. He's one of my other inspirations on you can make things happen, you know. So we're gonna visit him. His name is Volcano. That's one inspiration I got from him. Like, you work for the people and the people will work for you. And for me, it's just a dream. You know what I mean? That I'm still trying to make come true. And for him, it's already there, you know? He's got people in his house from morning till kids coming after school. It's coming straight to his house, you know? It's already in motion, you know? And he's my inspiration to remind me, this is what I'm supposed to do, you know? So when all the money comes and I become rich, whatever, you know, this is my aim, you know, to give back to the community. So yeah, that's why I like to keep around this guy, so I can stay reminded that I have to give back to the people.
As an artist, I've learned to not to live for myself, to live for myself and for others, you know? Sometimes it's appreciated, you know, by whoever you render the service or sharing your skills to, you know. Others, you're not sure whether you spending your time sharing your skills with them, how much do they appreciate it? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I've learned to, yeah, you know, to live for others and my community. You understand? I don't live to be a superstar or, you know, I just, you know, whatever skills I have, you know, make sure that some youth will benefit from them. You know, some youth will be inspired. And
so, you know, we come from the culture of storytelling, where an elderly person would sit with the grandchildren or the children around the fire, and they would tell them stories that will teach them something, you know, some relevant lesson about life, you know. And that generation is gone now. It's been replaced by TV, you know, because the family would sit in front of the TV and they would actually learn from TV. So Spaza is another way of reviving this culture of people, you know, having to learn from someone telling a story, you know what I mean? But now in a new modernized way where there's music and dance, you know what I mean? So yeah. Yeah, so that's what makes Spaza fit in our culture, you know. It's like something that was always there, only just renewed and modified.
I think Spaza is I don't know, it's Guguletu's, or it's Cape Town's original, you know, music or sound. It is the interpretation of hip hop, but through the spectacles of, you know, youth in Cape Town. You know what I'm saying? I would say it's a Cape Town hip hop, because the language is Xhosa, it's original, which is the most language that is spoken in Cape Town, you know, and also the content of the lyrics from, you know, in Spaza. The issues are, you know, are addressed by the MCs are issues that we feel are community issues that everyone relates to.
I wanted to make a hip hop that would be friend, you know, to any other kid. Now, I don't want to be a bad friend, a bad influence, you know. I want to be a good friend, you know. So my hip hop is actually a friend to people from the community, you know, to enlighten them, to show them where they go wrong and show them what they do right, and, you know, motivate them in doing the right things, you know what I mean? So Spaza was built on those bases, and then it just grew. Kwaito also was a European music. They just slow down the beat and throw in some few couple of words in Sotho or Zulu, you know, and they say that's creative. But I mean, there's nothing creative about that, you know, like slowing down a beat from somebody who made the song overseas and putting on 2-3 words that say everything is fine, because that's what most of the Kwaito songs are saying. It's like, Umo, Jogu Grand, Africa. It's like all about everything is cool, we're enjoying, we're living it all. You know what I mean? Yeah, so Spaza is on another tip, you know, it's on the real, you know, it's on the real. It's where you would hear about how people feel, how do they feel they've been treated by the police, or how do they feel about being ruled by the government, or how do they feel about social issues. You know what I mean? It's what you can relate to. It can be your best friend.
Kudala ndinixelela sanudelela niqala uqhushululu kodwa ngoku anizulumela ha nizozivela itrack ebukhawule qhawula uqhoqhoqho okwemela inyani sayimela whereas budenge nibufela buya phela bunkani bamanxila namasela phela ngentsomi ene plot a week. So.
In the early days of the Tsotsis, like back in the 40s and the 50s, you know, the early Tsotsis, you know, it were few people, and they made so much money that everybody who grew up, who was young during that time, wanted to be a Tsotsi, you know what I mean? And the stats just grew, you know what I mean? All the Tsotsis, they big people, they drive fancy cars, they live in big houses, they make a lot of money without effort, you know what I mean? So they the best role models in the townships, you know? And every youngster wants to grow up to be like bra so-and-so, or, you know, because he's a drug dealer, or he's robbed a bank, or, you know what I mean? Yeah, at some point I became a criminal, but then there was a point in my life where I was doing crime so that I could fit in, you know. There was a point in my life where I was doing crime so that I could be recognized as one of the guys from the hood, you know what I mean? I never had an older brother, so I had to stand up for my own things, you know. For other kids, it's easier when you got an older brother already who's already made it in the street. You sort of gain that respect without even working for it. And the school that I used to attend is a school that would have a murder committed inside a schoolyard almost every year, you know. And the funny thing about the school is it was just behind the police station, you know. And then my parents, my mom decided, okay, I'd rather take you to a private school where you are far from these, you know, toys and, you know, democratic rights and all type of things that were happening in the early days of Mandela's leadership, you know, where everyone was fighting for their rights. People wanted their income raised, you know, students wanted to rearrange the way schools are being operated. And that cost a lot because most people couldn't really study during that time, you know. So that's when I was moved to a private school. I didn't have it easy there, you know. You can imagine being around millionaires and you are centenaire, you know. And these kids, they come to you and they want you to bring them weed, you know what I mean? and they know weed is accessible in Googs, you know, and where they from, weed is not accessible. And they come to you with these huge amounts of money. It's like, get me some, maybe 100 grams of weed. And the other would come, get me 200 grams of weed. You know what I mean? And there was money for me. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm not used to having so much money. Well, you know, so yeah, it starts like that. And then you start seeing how much money you can make out of it, you know. And even when you're outside school, you know, it becomes your option because you already know the market. While I was busy with that, my other friends whom I grow up with in the streets, you know, they started some other kinds of robberies, you know, like robbing people, literally robbing people in the streets, you know. But I was not amongst that group until after some time, you know, when I was no longer at school. And then, you know, I also started joining in those groups, doing house breakings, you know, and robbing people. You know, the phones were not quite popular in those days. It was money. The more we try to avoid the issue of crime and what is causing crime, the more there will be crime. So I'm not talking about crime so to make a hero of myself about crime. I am talking about crime so that the next generation could avoid getting into crime, or the parents of today could actually know how to prevent their kids from getting into crime.